In this video, I want to help you improve your wah. So wah is, of course, this. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. So let's jump right into it. So your wah is a huge part of your tone on harmonica, but it has to be said that it's only really a part of your acoustic tone, because when you're amplified, that effect is not really going to make a difference when you have a microphone. So when you're amplified, you're going to want to use vibrato instead. But for most purposes, when you're playing acoustic, your wah is great. It's something that's actually unique to the harmonica. I mean, most instruments can't be completely covered like that. And so it's a cool effect that we can do. Now, there's a couple different ways of using wah. You can have like a nice, like kind of sweeping wah. You can have it kind of pulsing and fluttering like I did earlier. Or you can kind of use it a little bit more violently. Okay, so those are the three ways that I really use it. There's probably other ways, and there's other ways of doing this with your hand too, but I'm going to show you what works, because when I work with students, real people, I find that generally people's wahs are very weak, and usually it sounds something like this. Okay, and it seems like they're using a lot of muscles to make it happen, and just the impact on the sound isn't very strong. So if that's you in any way, you got to watch this video, okay? We're going to go fix this. So a couple things that I want you to focus on. So first of all, you want to make sure that you're holding the harmonica correctly. Now, generally, I use my non-dominant hand. I suppose you could use your dominant hand, but it just doesn't like match up nearly as nicely. If you're right-handed, that means your left hand. If you are left-handed, you could do it with your right hand and play that way. I mean, that is fine. I would actually suggest flipping your harmonica upside down and then playing with your left hand. So you play in the same way that a right-handed player would be, but it really functionally doesn't matter. Just make sure that you have a good grip, but you're not death gripping it, because when we're trying to play a wah, we're trying to get a really nice seal on the harmonica, and you don't want to overdo it with your holding hand, okay? Because you can see there's little gaps like in your fingers right there that are showing up. And if you can close those up a little bit more, that's better, okay? Like this is my hold right there. That's like my general hold. No, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. But if that's really wide open for you or something, or if you're doing like one of these deals or something, then you're going to want to go and fix that. All right. So normal, grip that is covering up as much as you can without like being a death grip. In fact, you barely want to be holding it. It's kind of like you just have a slot and you just put it in. And your other fingers in the back are going to want to make like a nice like C-shaped curve, okay? Very simple. Your other hand, and now there's other ways of doing this. I'm going to show you what I do and what I teach to people, okay? So I think that you should take the muscular pad of your thumb on your dominant hand, and that's called the thenar eminence, okay? And I think you should link that up with this little curve underneath on your thumb. So you see that curve right there? We're going to kind of put that right there. It kind of fits in pretty nicely, okay? Kind of try to show you as many angles as I can, all right? And then you're going to just collapse your palm there, okay? So now we have like a pretty nice seal around the back. This, your holding hand is going to curve nicely, okay? And then this hand is just going to cover up the rest of your harmonica. And you want to make sure, to the best of your ability at the very least, that there's not just huge holes in your hold, right? Because if you are holding your harmonica, but you're open at the bottom, I mean, is that doing something? Yeah, but it's not nearly as strong as this. Okay, so my main suggestion here, muscular pad of your thumb, your thenar eminence, that is going to be on the curve of your thumb, like there. Palms go together, okay? Your hypothenar eminences, they're touching, okay? And then this holding hand, nice curve going down, and then your other hand just needs to close like that. Now, if you have a harmonica that has these little holes, on the covers, then you may, it's not necessary, but you may want to cover them as well. So when you're doing your hold, remember, thenar eminence to your thumb joint there, palms down, curve your hand, close that in. Now, what you want to do here on the side is that you might want to curve like your index finger over. Okay, you don't need to, but it can help. Okay, and now when you actually go to do wah, instead of moving your arm, which is really tiring, you're going to pivot. Okay, look at how I do it. Pivot. All right, so let me show you. That's very easy to do, but you got to build up the muscle memory to really be successful with it. Like for me, that's very easy. But when I was starting, it was very hard, okay? Now, a lot of people don't pivot. Instead, they go like this. They use their arm and they kind of like keep hitting it like that. Now, that's okay. I use that in a particular style. As I mentioned before, you can kind of use it as a big hit, like... So I do it like that, but I think for general purposes, that is not a really good approach, okay? Because it's just tiring and it doesn't make your sound any better. So it's fine. You could do it if you have the strength for it to keep that up, you know, more power to you, but I would suggest you pivot instead. So pivot. And the action is like that. You're just moving this hand. So aside from getting your grip and your hand position and stuff all right, and remember the main thing you're focusing on is just to cover all the holes without squeezing and without being open on the bottom. Okay, so once you can do that, the main way that I suggest that you practice, and this is something that I'm going to explore a lot more in the coming year, is I want you to try to improvise with intention. Use improvising as your means of practice. So you work out your hand hold, you know, like we're doing right now in a practice session during this video, whatever. And then afterwards, put on a backing track. It could be whatever style. I think slow blues is really good for this because it gives you a lot of time, but if you're not a blues guy, whatever, it could be first position, does not matter. And just play simple phrases that end with long held notes. And on those long held notes, your intention through the whole jam is just to practice your wah. Now, as you do it, like as you are doing this, you want to somewhat be judging if you're doing it correctly or not. Now, I just put out a video last week where I'm telling you, you got to be in the moment, okay? So how do you be in the moment when you're holding something in your head that you're focusing on? And that's just something you got to figure out. If you have the ability to do some wah, and then after every time you play a long held note with wah, you're thinking, did I do that correctly? Is that feeling right? Is that sounding right? Then you're good, you know, that you're golden. Just keep doing that for the course of the jam. If it's too much to focus on and you can only play, you know, somewhat well and then have like long held notes or you're doing wah, but you can't really judge it as you're going, then record yourself. Do what I'm doing right now. Set up a camera, hit record, could just be your phone, very simple. Play a little bit and then watch yourself back and you'll see exactly what you're doing and if your wah is actually good or not. So that's my main suggestion for this week. Tighten up your wah by making sure that your cup is good and practice it with an improvising session, but come into it with the intention of improving your wah and then try to tighten it up as you go. And do that practice for a week or two and you will be amazed at how much better your harmonica tone is. So that's all I have for you today. Definitely check out my scale cheat sheet. It's a really great reference to help you improvise. I will put the button for that down here. And then over here, I got another video. It's a good one. You really want to watch it, and I will see you next time. Peace.